I'd like to call the Finance, Ways and Means Appropriations Subcommittee to order for March 28th, 2022. Because members are coming and going to other committees and have other commitments, we're going to suspend with calling the roll. In a moment, we're going to go out of session. Today, we're going to hear presentations from appropriation amendments, which are requested by the members. Those that wish to present will be here. It is not a requirement this year that you do present your appropriation amendments. However, we're going to ask the members, because a plethora of you have a plethora of amendments, that you would keep your comments at a minimum so we can try to get through everybody today. We have this room for longer than we need, we hope, but we'll get to you as soon as we can. Because of the need to flow quickly, we're going to limit any outside testimony on any of the appropriations. The members will represent those interested parties in which they represent, and we're going to request that you try to keep your presentation per amendment for less than 2 minutes. Members, you can also look on the dashboard. There is a list of the appropriation amendments. My staff to my right is going to be helping me keep up with where your page number is and your amendment number is. But there are some amendments out at the amendment packs out at the table, and they are organized in alphabetical order instead of amendment order. So without any further ado, we're going to start with Representative Cooper. You are recognized, Representative Cooper. Her amendment is on page 2. Representative Cooper, you are recognized. My apologies. We're going to go out of session. Representative Cooper, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I am on page 2, of course, and House Bill 0103 is an amendment from Abundant Earth Global Community Development Corporation, and they need funding for facility repairs and programs, and they focus on reducing poverty, feeding the community, and increasing community engagement and education, such as tutoring and so forth. They also take care of the homeless, and right now they do need repairs on the building, so that will be part of the repairs and the programs, and we ask for your consideration and approval.
That was House Appropriation Amendment 103, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Amendment Appropriation 104.
Okay, House number 0104 is in reference to the Mel Malone Family Foundation. And this is to restore the Mel Malone historic home into a museum. Now, the Tennessee Manual Labor University School, founded and built in Malone land to teach the newly freed slaves in the community, and is now known as Cemetery. Classes were originally held in the Ebenezer Primitive Baptist Church, which still holds services. The community school, known as Cemetery Elementary, was built and stayed in service until 1963. It is to be made into a museum highlighting the historical value of the community during and after the Civil War. Not only that, I'd like to just mention to you that the Mel Malone Family Historic Foundation is a historical society with the historical preservation in Memphis, founded in 2019. And I'm proud to say that they did receive in 2021 the Merit Award from the Tennessee Historical Commission, and they drastically need to preserve that history that they have there at the Mel Malone land that they have founded and put together for a museum. We'd like your consideration and approval on that. House Bill 0101, is that where we?
105.
Okay, House number 0105 is the Memphis Area Association of Governments, and it is to support and extend MAG programs and services to towns and communities in Shelby County, Lauderdale County, Tipton County, and Fayette counties. That this organization has done an excellent job in helping it and to advertise and help the community development, economic development in these areas. And we'd like for you to accept this appropriation, please. We call it MAG, Memphis Area Association of Government. And it's a formal request for supplemental funding for the purpose of extending out the services to the 4 counties that I mentioned. And the main focuses in this area is MAG focus on planning and economic development. It provides financial aid to seniors for emergency repair for homes, certification for first-time home buyers, national historic preservation, residential status, tourism, and public grant development. And the services, which are just numerous, that the things that they do to help build these communities. This funding is very crucial, Mr. Chair, currently due to the announcement of the Ford's Blue Oval automotive plant. And these counties are near that area, and we know what the Ford Blue Oval automotive plant will do for that area in the mega site. And so we're requesting funding for at least 12 towns to secure planning consultants to assist and guide them through the planning process. So the comprehensive plan will enable local and appointed officials to deliberate and determine the best decisions for future growth in these communities. And we ask for your consideration and approval of this also.
Thank you, Representative Cooper. Thank you for that. That's all the appropriation amendments I have for you. Is that correct?
Well, I had 3 others listed on here.
Oh, you do? I'm sorry.
And on my page, they're together, page 2, that's 0101.
Yes, ma'am, you're recognized.
Oh, thank you. And this is an organization in Southwest Memphis Community Corporation, and it offers a healthy temple at the Healthy Temple Ministries, a provision for community health care programs and services like COVID testing, high blood pressure, and diabetes, those kinds of services that we have, and a referral for testing. So we ask for your consideration for 0102. And then we have another one, one more.
Yes, ma'am. You're recognized.
0100. This is in the Southwest area also. It's a high polluted area, and this Community Development Corporation has a Memphis Eye Institute for mobile eye care in that depressed area. It's a very depressed area, and they'll be offering testing and referrals for services for minor treatment eye care for the community. And we ask for your consideration and approval for that service.
Thank you, Representative Cooper.
And thank you, Mr. Chair and members.
Is that all of them for today?
I think that's all.
Yes, ma'am. That's what I have too. All right. As you can see, members, the members are queued. You can look for my attention. I'll try to fill empty podium or empty seats as the members come in. So next up, we have Chairman Kumar on House Appropriations Amendment, page 5, number 98. Chairman Kumar, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Committee, the amendment number is 015835.
Okay, you are recognized.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman and members, this has to do with Highway 431 or State Route 65 that connects Interstate 24 to the city of Springfield. The way Robertson County is located immediately north of here, I-65 and I-24 run on the periphery, so that access from these highways to the inside of the community is very critical. This is really a lifeline for our community. It's 12 miles long. First half near the inside of the community from Springfield going towards Interstate 24. The first half, 6 miles, have been widened to 4 lanes. The other are only 2 lanes. So we don't get the benefit of having a 4-lane highway from the city of Springfield to Interstate 24 because only halfway we get installed there or easier access, halfway for the first 6 miles, then it all clogs down into 2 lanes. It is an incomplete project, and we are asking for completion of this project. It's very critical to our community and our future development. The other thing is it's a regional project in the sense that if we were to make access to Robertson County easier from Nashville, not only will it facilitate my commute, but it will make it possible for people who work in Nashville but cannot afford to live here. They could access more affordable housing in the Robertson County area. So it will relieve regional congestion, and it's just a very important project to our community. And we ask for funding.
Thank you, Dr. Kumar, or Chairman Kumar. I don't know ever what to call you, but Dr. Chairman Kumar. Thank you for representing your community. Next on the list, we have Speaker Marsh. Speaker Marsh, you are recognized on pages 6 and 7, beginning with House Appropriation number 91. You are recognized. Representative Chairman Eldridge, you can come to the podium there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll be real quick. 91 is from helping the Associated Builders and Contractors of the Construction Trades Academy for training of skilled trade professional. They've got one now that's really been successful. They're asking money for $950,000 to enlarge and improve that. The
next one, you are recognized on House Appropriations Amendment 176.
177.
177.
That's from the South Central Human Resources Agency, which is a 13-county agency in southern Middle Tennessee, to help them build a $1.5 million warehouse to store donated food and to hand it out to poor agencies all across the district. The next one is number 180. This is from Middle Tennessee State University. They're moving their Flight Academy operations to the Shelbyville, Tennessee airport. They've got a lot of money in the governor's budget. They're needing about $5 million money up front for upfront and operational costs for a very worthwhile project for them and Shelbyville and Bedford County. The next one is number 179. It's the Tennessee Walking Horse National Celebration. Our friend Warren Wells is asking for $150,000 for a new type soil for a variety of horse shows. They can't use the same dirt that the walking horses use it, so they're asking for another one. Number 178 is a community clinic of Shelbyville. They're asking for $100,000 to help in their safety net foundation and funding for poor people in our area. Number 181 is for the Shelbyville Rotary Club for a statue of the former Lieutenant Governor Jim Bomer, who's the international president of Rotary for a year and helped eradicate polio, asking for $200,000 to build a park and a statue for Lieutenant Governor Bomer. And the last one is 176, the Tennessee Association of Building Foundations. They've got a training bus that's got truck drivers and classroom personnel training in the bus. $5.5 million that these training vehicles have helped put people to work all over our state. That's it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Speaker Marsh. Appreciate it very much. Next on our list, page 7, Representative Ogles, you're up next actually on the list. Representative Ogles, you are recognized on House Appropriations Amendment number 138, page 7 on the list, page 7.
Thank you, Chairman. Is that 15695?
This is we don't have the drafting codes. We have the list. You have 2 budget appropriations. One's for every LEA. The other's for the TBI.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, members, Chairman, members of the committee. The first one is for $50 million. That's part of which I'm being told is part of the base of the new funding formula for school safety that's being created. I've been told it's in there. I just haven't seen any language to see and verify that it's going to be in there. This would allocate $50 million and earmark that to school safety when this is finally passed out of here. School safety is not something I know a lot of you have worked on in the past. It's not something that has a booster club or a lot of parents that are lobbying and advocating for. And if this is part of the base, I would just like to see some documentation to verify that. Thank you, Chairman. The next amendment is for $150 million. It's already part of the budget. Right now, it's a line item for criminal justice, violent crime intervention. This simply just earmarks $75 million to your local law enforcement agencies, and another $75 million to TBI, just specifying that this money will be spent to organizations that are already in existence that fight violent crime and that have the resources and training to do such, and just put some guardrails on that. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, members of the committee.
Thank you, Representative Ogles. Representative Campbell, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like everyone in this room to please join me in giving a huge birthday applause to my friend and seatmate, Representative Paul Sherrill. Yes.
And as a birthday gift, Representative Sherrill, we will fund any of yours budget appropriations that are not over $100. So. Anyways, Representative Sherrill, you are recognized. Representative Sherrill's budget appropriation amendments are on page 9. You're recognized on the first, which I have as Warren County Rescue.
Thank you, Chairman and committee. The first one on there is 003, which this is repairing and maintenance on the dam, the bridge that connects White County from Warren County. They're wanting to make this into a walkway, and we're asking for $100,000 on this. Number 2, the 00 number 2, Warren County Rescue Squad, which is $16,000, and they're asking for help with their, the Warren County Rescue Squad is asking for help with their engines on their boats, which are wore out, and we definitely want to help these folks that goes out and works for you and I to retrieve people that is maybe drowned or whatever, so we definitely want to help them as much as we can. We appreciate the help. 0037 is the White County Rescue Squad, which is asking for $23,000, which is for an ATV to go down in places like Scottsguff and places where people has hiked and wherever it may be that it's got hurt and needing help getting people out instead of trying to carry them out. Hopefully this would help them. Their vehicle that they have is wore out, and asking for help in this. The next one is 0036. Again, is the White County Sparta Rescue Squad. That they have a vehicle that they use to go out and help people that's involved in accidents or wrecks or people are lost, which is $54,000. They're asking for help in this, and we would definitely appreciate that. I'm going to go with the last one, which is 0191, 0164, which is we are asking for $14,592 through parks for non-reoccurring for Virgin Falls State Park, and $500,000 for reoccurring that we've been working on to try to see Virgin Falls become a state park. And we know that it would be an economical boost for the area and for different counties around White County, Cumberland, Putnam, DeKalb, Van Buren, and other counties, plus the state of Tennessee, where people come from all over the United States and different places to hike. So we would definitely ask that we could get help this become a state park. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Representative Sherrill. Next on my list, on page 7, Chairman Moon, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Smoky Mountain Heritage Center is located in Townsend, Tennessee, which is near the entrance of the Great Smoky Mountain National Park and to Cades Cove. If Cades Cove was a park by itself, it'd be the second most visited park in the country. The Heritage Center currently has 17 historic structures and enables us to educate the public about diverse people and the cultures who have lived, worked, and died in the Great Smoky Mountains over the centuries. These structures have been modified or been made ADA accessible with wheelchair ramps, and other alterations. However, the pathway leading to and from each of these structures is composed of gravel. It'd be our desire with this appropriation to pave these and light these. It's a non-reoccurring appropriation of $175,000. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Moon. Next on the list, Leader Lamberth, you're recognized. For the members, Leader Lamberth gets the prize for most budget amendments as a member of the House this year. His budget appropriation amendments begin on page 5. Leader Lamberth, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just happened to talk to a whole lot of folks over the last few weeks that thought there were some improvements that could be made in the budget in areas that we invest in. So
I understand. Thank you, Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for taking me up. I will be as brief as I possibly can while doing justice to these. I promise you I wouldn't take up too much of the committee's time today. Item number 49, budget amendment number 49, Mr. Chairman. Budget amendment number 49 is $5.5 million for recurring increase in DCS salaries for their case managers. This is happening kind of all over Tennessee, but specifically in the counties surrounding Davidson County. They've had such a difficulty getting DCS case managers in Davidson County. They've had to get case managers from surrounding counties to come in. It's just a very robust economy right now. That's a good thing, but we need to up the pay on that.
Yes, thank you, Leader Lamberth.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Amendment number 51 is 4 positions in the expungement unit of the TBI. We have continued over the last several years to allow for additional expungement opportunities for Tennessee residents to be able to get their records clear, especially for first-time offenders, but we've expanded that significantly. We, however, have not expanded the number of people that are actually doing that work to ensure the records become clean. And so that's what this would do, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, do you want me to stop in between each one or just roll down through them? Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, item number 52 would be for 2 FFA positions at the state level. FFA over the years has grown in population of students to take advantage of that wonderful program, but unfortunately the state allocation for the number of individuals that are working with those students has gone down over the last 20 years. Item number 53, or Amendment 53, would be for 10 additional trooper positions. There are some additional trooper positions in the budget. The more troopers we get out there, the safer our roads are, and it's just a good idea to have as many as we can get in the budget. On that same note, Amendment number 54 is $1.7 million in recurring dollars for Project Return. So many of these folks that are coming out of prison, they don't have the resources they need to get back up on their feet. Project Return does a fantastic job of making sure these folks do not come back into the criminal justice system. Again, on that same vein, right now we are severely behind in the number of assistant district attorney positions. Item number 57 would provide for 32 new assistant district attorney positions throughout the state, roughly 1 per district. That's about half of what they really need. So if you want to get a quality judicial system, you've got to have it staffed right with district attorneys and assistant public defenders. This is specifically for the assistant district attorneys. Item number 58 is $18.5 million one time for a UT Martin building that would be a real hub of activity for rural Tennessee. This was on the list for a couple of years with THEC. I don't know what happened this year that it fell off the list, but it is something that I think would be extremely helpful for us to fund, and it's one-time dollars. And so that would be for UT Martin, one of UT's smaller campuses, but quite frankly, one of their most efficiently run, and they make a massive difference in rural Tennessee. The Jason Foundation is item number 59 and 60. If you are not familiar with the Jason Foundation, please look that organization up. It is actually was founded and is run out of Sumner County, but it is a national organization that helps prevent and reduce the number of suicides in our teens. Critical the work that they do. I hope in the amended budget there will be $305,000 as the second installment of what we did last year of one of 3 years of an allocation to them. I don't know if that'll be in the amended budget or not, but that's why the $305,000 in item number 59. Item 60 would be for a $1 million non-recurring allocation to the Jason's Foundation. Every single dollar we give to these folks is going to save somebody's life out there. It's guaranteed. Go look them up. Go meet with them. It's a really rough world that these teenagers live in right now, and young, kind of older teens and young 20s coming out of this pandemic with the challenges that this next generation is facing. They need this big time. $2.2 million on item number 61 that comes directly from our local folks. I heard Dr. Kumar up here talking about a much larger project in his district that is definitely needed. This one is for an intersection that is very dangerous. It's local roads that intersect in with the state highway. I know we don't normally do it in this manner, but I'd like to highlight that that's definitely needed, whether it comes in a budget allocation or out of the TDOT budget. That's one of those intersections that's just, we're real worried, and my local mayor there is worried that somebody's going to wind up getting killed if we don't do something. The YMCA has their youth ledge program. That $100,000 on item number 62 would be to help them, and these are the next generation of leaders, and so it's just a really good program. It'd be great if we could support them a little bit more. Item number 63 is $25,000 in non-recurring dollars to the Tennessee District Attorney General's Conference for 2 conferences that are national conferences that are coming into the state of Tennessee. That's to assist with some additional funds for that. Item number 64 is a pretty exciting project in our district. As Nashville has grown, some of the smaller airports around Nashville have had an opportunity to grow as well. And this is the Music City Executive Airport. It'd be $1.9 million to continue to expand their resources there and their footprint so that you have less planes coming into Nashville, more planes coming into some of these surrounding airports. Mr. Chairman, I promise I'm coming almost down to the end. I'm even going to skip a couple. Yes, sir. I'm landing the plane.
Thing.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I'll land it. Yes, sir. So $60,000 on item number 65 for this is for the Sumner County Mental Health Court. If you don't have one of these in your district, please talk to your local juvenile court judge about this. This is, again, for juveniles. I mean, these are folks that are coming into the juvenile court system that have mental health issues, severe ones many times. It's $60,000. It's a drop in the bucket in our now proposed potential $52.8 billion budget. What I anticipate it may be. This is $60,000, but it literally, this is another one of those that's going to intervene early in young folks' lives and be able to help them. Item number 92 is something that's been coming for a long time. This is $10 million in recurring funds for EMS services. This is one of the few medical services out there. They have no option of who they pick up and who they transport. They're going to transport everybody. Whether you've got insurance, you don't have insurance, whether they take insurance, whether you pay or don't pay, they're going to transport you. And thank God that they do. But they're losing money left and right. And so there's other bills out there to try to deal with this. Really what they need is just the funds to be able to take care of all of those unpaid for services that they're providing right now that, again, are saving lives. So that's $10 million recurring for EMS. I have 2 more, Mr. Chairman, that deal. It's item number 134 and 135. And it's $5 million non-recurring or recurring, whichever way this committee would like to go, for the healthcare safety net. This is something that, Mr. Chairman, you and I have really championed for years with several other folks. It's what makes a difference in folks' lives when they are either underinsured or uninsured. I mean, we can talk about the strength and weaknesses of expanding TennCare or other programs, but these are the boots on the grounds folks and these safety net programs that are providing the services that people need. So the more money we can put into that, the more people that get direct health care assistance, not just insurance, but actual health care. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to get credit for having skipped item 50, 55, and 56. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Leader Lambert. That's the joys of being in leadership. I completely get it. A lot of people in your office, but I appreciate you advocating for all of them. Next on our list is Chairman Reagan. Chairman Reagan, you are recognized on page 8. Page 8. Chairman Reagan, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item number 47. This requests $75,000 for the city of Oliver Springs. They are pursuing a project that has a $150,000 price tag, and the city is going to match the $75,000 to complete it. The money would be for equipment storage buildings and provides utility support to 3 counties. That is the counties of Anderson, Roane, and Morgan. This would improve the overall safety in the service areas. With that explanation, sir, are you ready for questions?
Thank you, Chairman Reagan. Seeing no questions, thank you, Chairman Reagan, for coming today. Next on our list is Chairman Eldridge at the podium. You're recognized, sir, on page 3 on the list. Chairman Eldridge, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This request is for Men of Valor. It's in the amount of $750,000 non-recurring, and it's to be used for pre-release and post-release programs and services for prisoners and former inmates.
All right. Thank you, Chairman, for coming. I got lost on my paperwork trying to get everybody spooled out, ready to go. Do you have any other budget appropriations?
That one was it, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much. Representative Lafferty, you are recognized for the members. His are on page 5. Page 5. Representative Lafferty, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a road project that has been necessary since I was chasing my girlfriend out there 20-something years ago, but it's only gotten worse since then. What we've got here is
the road or the dating?
Back to the road.
Okay, thanks.
Well,
Thank you.
It's a traditional T-style intersection where two people going into the T have stop signs. The third party that is on the state road has a 45-mile-an-hour speed limit and no stop sign. And you're kind of playing Russian roulette if you're coming straight on, hoping that they're going straight and not giving up their turn signal. And if you're making a right-hand turn, you're always behind that one guy that needs to go left, and you can never get around him. And it's bad. Even during non-rush hour times, I have set up to 15 minutes simply trying to make a right-hand turn at this intersection. It's not rush hour. That's rush hour. It's amplified. Some of the other things to consider. The work is going to be done by the county. The county's got $1 million to put in themselves. We're asking for $2.3 million. Several years ago, the county extended what looks like a natural extension of this road. It's not. They extended and widened, widen's probably the better word, a county portion of a road to make it more feasible downstream from this intersection. The problem that they created by doing that is now truckers that are coming from Kentucky on Interstate 75 have realized they no longer have to go into downtown Knoxville to come out west. They can get off up in the north end of the county and come down this 2-lane state highway, which also adds to the traffic at this particular intersection. But wait, there's more. I am the fastest growing district in Knox County. We have had several new neighborhoods over the last decade go in. We've got 400 new houses being built within about a half a mile of this intersection. I'm begging. We need help with this. With that, thank you. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Representative Lafferty. Appreciate your time. Next on the list, Chairman Doggett. For the members on page 3, Chairman Doggett, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In committee, we're looking at item number 79. In September of 1813, the United States was in a war with Great Britain, and at the same time, there was a civil war between factions of the Creek Indian Nation. There was an attack at Fort Mims down in North Alabama where soldiers and their families were massacred. General Jackson took a group of Tennessee soldiers in October of that year down to Lincoln County, Tennessee to Camp Blunt, where they mustered and then eventually went on to defeat the Red Stick Creek Indians at Horseshoe Bend. Some of the members that were there in that unit were future Governor William Carroll, General John Coffey, and as well as David Crockett. Camp Blunt hosts a number of events, groups, and living histories each year, school classes. What they're asking for is a $750,000 non-reoccurring appropriation to the city of Fayetteville to be used for improvements to the camp, including stormwater drainage, restrooms, and reconstruction of the Greer cabin.
Thank you, Chairman Doggett.
I have two more, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You were recognized on House Appropriations Amendment number 80.
Thank you very much. Number 80, a few years ago, the governor was gracious enough to put into his supplemental budget some funds to help start a regional fire training facility down in Lawrenceburg in Lawrence County. What the city of Lawrenceburg is asking for is $100,000 non-reoccurring so that they can complete this fire training facility and have it operational, fully operational for many, many counties in the area to utilize.
Thank you, Chairman Doggett. You were recognized on your last House Appropriation number 81.
Thank you very much. Number 81 deals with the Hope Botanical Garden in Lawrence County in Leoma, Tennessee. What we're asking for is $15,000 to help be used in the garden and infrastructure development. This garden has been around for around 6 years. They do a lot of fundraising, but it's a really neat thing that they've got going on there, a part of economic development, but they do need some restrooms and some other improvements to the infrastructure, and so that's why we're here asking for this. Thank you very much for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Chairman Doggett. Speaker Johnson, if you want to grab a seat between Crawford and Manis, you can go ahead there. And Chairman Hawk, if you want to sit there at Doggett, you can. And Representative Hicks, you can take the podium over here. And we'll try to get all of you. Next up on our list is Chairman Crawford, who's going to be representing his himself and his district, and also his neighbor's district, Chairman or Representative Halsey. You're recognized, Chairman Crawford.
Thank you, Chairman. My budget appropriations is on page 3, starting with 0021. This is for $1 million for Miracle Field. This is the second portion of that. We've already built one, and this is basically a baseball park for special needs children. And it's used tremendously in our area. People come from all other states to take part in that. And if you ever get the opportunity to help assist in these games, it'll change your life. It's really great.
Thank you, Chairman. You're recognized on your next budget appropriation, number 23.
I've got 22 first.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was out of order. Yes, sir.
That's okay. This one is for $1 million for Second Harvest Food Bank of Tennessee. There's 5 different food banks from West Tennessee to Northeast Tennessee, and these would be split. The $1 million would be split and go to each one of the places that distribute the food based on their population and based on the percentages. Item number 3 is 0023, which is $7.5 million for Bristol State Line Stadium. This is the gateway into Tennessee coming out of Virginia and North Carolina. We're looking at hopefully getting some major league participants, and that's what this will be, a new stadium that's built downtown. That's my appropriations.
Thank you, Chairman Crawford. I also know that your tag teaming is a big part of wrestling culture in Upper East Tennessee, so it looks like you're doing, for those that don't know, Chairman Halsey or Representative Halsey's budget appropriation amendments are on page 5.
Page 5, starting with 0093. This is for Lighthouse Christian School. It's a private school that's in our area that does a lot of good work and has a pretty good enrollment. And this is for $55,000 that would redo the gym floor.
Thank you. Is there? Go. Yes. There's one other.
Item number 0094 is for the Senior Citizens Center. This would be split between the Senior Citizens Center for Kingsport and the Downtown Center, and then also the Senior Center, which is located in Lynn Garden, and that's for sum of $50,000 non-reoccurring.
Thank you, Chairman Crawford.
Thank you. Thank you, committee.
Thank you. Representative Manis, you are next recognized on page 6. Representative Manis, you are recognized on House Appropriation Amendment 71.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. If I might make my plea for either 0071 or 0124. They're kind of combined. One is for Zoo Knoxville and the other one is for, 0124 is for the consortium of the 4 zoos and the Tennessee Aquarium across the state.
Thank you. You are recognized.
All Tennessee Zoos and Aquarium Consortium facilities experienced deep financial hardships, as many other organizations did during COVID-19. Many of those organizations closed in March 2020, just as the peak spring break was set to begin. As attendance begins to normalize and tourists begin to travel, we hope that they can return to pre-pandemic attendance numbers. But I just want to go through, I made this statement earlier. The consortium was organized in 2015. It includes the 5 accredited nonprofit zoos and the Tennessee Zoo and Aquarium. That's Chattanooga Zoo, Zoo Knoxville, Memphis, and Nashville. In 2019, they generated $194 million in economic activity. They entertained 1.5 million guests or tourists. They generate 817 jobs and welcoming more than 3.5 million visitors annually. These funds that I'm pleading for today further support the education and conservation work that the consortium is passionate about, while also providing more revenue for the state's other worthy initiatives. I hope you will look favorably upon either 0071 or 0124.
Thank you, Representative Manis. For the members, House Appropriation Amendment 124, which you recognized earlier, was also in regards to zoos and aquarium by Representative or Chairman Zachary as well. So appreciate that. Next on our list, number one in our hearts from the pork, Representative Whitson, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I feel like I'm talking to the Bailey Building and Loan here, and you're George Bailey.
Much nicer. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have five. First, it's the Refuge Center for Counseling, a $20,000 request. The Refuge Center serves 17 counties in Middle Tennessee with excellent, affordable, and accessible mental and emotional health care services in the support of their local communities. That is number 0010.
Thank you. Representative, you're recognized on your House on your next appropriation amendment.
Yes, sir. That's 0039. That's for High Hopes. It's a $50,000 ask. High Hopes stands in the gap of the most vulnerable of our population, predominantly children with special needs, in 22 counties in Middle Tennessee through an inclusive school and pediatric therapy clinic.
Thank you. Next I have on your list is House Appropriation number 8.
Yes, sir. That's for the PAY program. That stands for Providing Access to the Visual Environment. Works with local educational agencies and the Tennessee School for the Blind to meet the visual needs of patients ages 3 through 21 who have low vision. For more than 20 years, the project has provided young patients with low vision access to optical devices and training.
Thank you, Representative. Next on your list, House Appropriation Amendment 25.
Yes, sir. That's for the Adventure Science Center here in Nashville. It's a one-time $500,000 budget amendment request to the center. It will help fund a new STEM-focused state-of-the-art gallery entitled Health, Sports, and Human Performance. This 9,500 square foot facility will exhibit those items dealing with human performance through the lenses of healthcare, sports, and technology, three key industries that have deep roots in Tennessee and that drive our economy forward.
Thank you, Representative Whitson. That's all I have for you. Does that conclude, or do you have another?
Yes, sir. I do have another one on the list here. I have number 0024. That is appropriation for the Tennessee Alliance of Boys and Girls Club. It's a statewide application. This amendment is for $350,000 for supplies and technology to address the COVID learning loss in boys and girls clubs across the state. They serve 53,000 children each year.
Thank you, Representative Whitson. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And if we could go back to page 1, I'm carrying this for Representative Beck. It's 0018. It's a $700,000 request. And this is for the Senior Citizens 50 Forward organization. Funds appropriated will be used among 7 lifelong learning centers in 2 counties for the purpose of providing programs and services to older adults, helping to access resources, combat isolation, and improve quality of life. And sir, that's all I have today.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that for Representative Beck. Next on our list, Speaker Johnson, you are recognized on page number 5. Speaker Johnson, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 0067, you can take that off your list.
Okay.
House-
You get a blue ribbon for being the first to do that today. Speaker, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 0068. Last year, we approved $750 for the implementation of a new program at Austin Peay, the Institute for National Security and Military Studies. It was supposed to be 3 years, and the governor failed to put it in his budget. I've been assured it's going to be in the supplemental, but this is just a backup.
Thank you, Speaker.
House Bill 0066 is $10 million for the Fort Campbell Historical Foundation for the Tennessee Wings of Liberty Museum in Montgomery County.
Next, and finally, I think Senator Stone.
That's correct,
House.
Mr. Chairman. House Bill 0193 is for Centerstone Military Services, and it's for professional behavioral health services for military veterans, reservists, members of the National Guard, and their families. $800,000.
Thank you, Speaker Johnson. Appreciate it very much. Next on our list, page number 9 and 10, Chairman White. You were recognized. Well, one moment, please. Representative Littleton, if you'll take that chair right there, you'll be good. Chairman Littleton as well. That should get all the members that are in here at a desk. So after we get through these, we'll go to the members of the committee so they can be prepared as well. Chairman White, you're recognized. Members are on page 9 and 10.
Thank you, Chairman and committee. And very briefly, I submitted 10, but let me just point out 4 for consideration of your time and the total budget. Mine is page 8, but is 171, Agape Child and Family Services, 171. This request of $500,000. Agape's been around for a long time in our state, and this is for their poverty reduction programs. They're doing great work in that area. Then look at item number 170, Memphis Dental Society. We actually had this approved 2 years ago, then COVID took the budget away and we lost it. But this is actually they're doing that this weekend. They have they serve about 2,000 indigent people in dental care. It's like a triage and like a military base. It's a phenomenal program. Request is $250,000 for that. Let me jump down to Teach for America. As you know, we have a teacher shortage, and Teach for America has been doing a great job for many years, recruit and train highly effective new teachers. They're asking for $2.5 million.
That is House Appropriation 169, Amendment 169. You're recognized, Chairman.
Thank you, 169. The last one, 192, the Tennessee School for the Deaf. They have a deaf mentor parent advisor program. They're asking for a grant of $300,000 for that particular program. With that, thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman White. Next on our list, Representative Hicks, page 5 from the podium. Chairman Hicks.
Thank you,
Representative Hicks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
First Amendment is 0078. It's an ask for $10,000 to the Appalachian Resource Conservation. Yeah, there we go. Conservation and Development Council. It is a 28-year-old 501c3 that serves Northeast Tennessee through programs such as supports agriculture and conservation.
Thank you, Representative. I think I have a couple more, three more for you. House Amendment 76.
76 is thank you, Mr. Chairman, a $2 million ask. This amendment is a request to expand the statewide program we started in 2016 in our recovery courts. This budget amendment would ask for $2 million additional non-reoccurring dollars to pay for the use of Vivitrol in our state's drug courts and jails. Vivitrol is used for patients addicted to opioids or alcohol and is an aid in treatment process without using opioids to treat the addiction.
Thank you, Representative.
Yep.
I will say before you move on, very passionate. You're very passionate about this topic. I appreciate you coming and communicating on this. It's very important to what's going on as it relates to substance abuse in our state. You're recognized on your next House Appropriation Amendment number 77.
Number 77 is $25,000. It is for LXI. It is to be used for a food program, renovations, and to build a basketball court. LXI is a nonprofit that has been in Johnson City for a number of years. They work with inner city kids, and they work very closely with our school systems. They serve about 60 to 80 inner city kids on a weekly basis and about 15 to 20 on a daily basis. They do very good work, and I'm excited about this amendment. It's the first one they've ever had.
Thank you, Representative. And finally, House Appropriation Amendment number 75.
75 is for the Boys and Girls Club of Johnson City. Funds will be used to provide supplies and labor for improvements to increase the outcome for kids. Also addressing the social and emotional wellness needed for the kids right now through COVID.
Thank you, Representative Hicks.
Thank you.
Is that it? I think that's all I've got on your list.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Committee.
Thank you, Representative Hicks. Next on my list, Chairman Littleton. Chairman Littleton, you're recognized on paid members. Her appropriation amendments are on page 6. Starting with House Amendment 185, is that correct?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I think everyone knows what the Children's Advocacy Centers of Tennessee are. They are the ones that do the forensic training for the sexually and abused children. I'm going to make it short and sweet. Well, that's not sweet, but I'm going to make this short and sweet like me. But everyone knows what they do and what they're for, and we're asking for $500 million.
$500 million?
For child advocacy centers across Tennessee. And like I said, we all know what they do. They're for our abused and sexually abused children, for forensic training, mental health initiatives, and victim advocates. I could go on, but we all know what they do.
Thank you, Chairman. You have one other, Chairman, House Appropriation 184.
This is for the Jobs for Tennessee graduates. These are seniors that are in at risk of not graduating. So this program, we're trying to put it in all the counties across the state to help these children graduate from school and decide if they want to go on to a job or if they want to go on to college. And that would be $2 million.
Yes. Thank you, Chair Lady Littleton. Just to clarify on your previous budget appropriation, what was the amount you were requesting there?
On the which one?
House Appropriation Amendment number 185 for the Children Advocacy Center.
$500 million.
Okay, thank you.
It's a one-time, non-reoccurring. We'd like for it to be reoccurring, though.
Yes, yes, ma'am. So would every other member of this committee and this body.
I should get credit for being short and sweet, right?
Yes, ma'am, you do. Thank you, Chair Lady Littleton. Next on our list, Chairman Hawk. Chairman Hawk's budget appropriation amendments are on page 4 for the members. Page 4.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members, much like my mentor, Charles Sargent, I'm asking for a budget amendment that is statewide in implication. $600,000 for our Science Alliance museums that serve our children, presenting STEM education. Chattanooga, Tri-Cities, Nashville, Rutherford County, Memphis, and Knoxville. Our Science Alliance museums have had a challenging time during COVID as they had to close their doors, but now they're reopened and wanting to engage even more so with the students that they serve. So certainly look forward to a favorable recommendation.
Thank you, Chairman Hawk. Let the committee reflect that he did reference the former chairman of finance's name and it being a statewide application in his presentation. So kudos to you. I don't have any other budget appropriations for you at all, Chairman Hawk.
That's all I wanted to ask for. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Hawk. Next on list, Chairman Ramsey. You are recognized. Members, his are on House appropriation amendments are on page 8. While the members go there, Chairman Ramsey, you are recognized.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and we'll start with item 200. This is a request for $34 million, which would go to the TennCare to be used exclusively for nursing facility staffing costs. The funds would only be used for increasing the number of staff, increasing staff wages or bonuses, and offsets the exorbitant costs that we've faced over the pandemic for temporary staffing agency charges. The wages for health care staff, housekeeping, maintenance, and nearly all the other positions have increased sharply over the last year. Most nursing facilities can't raise prices as they are nearly completely dependent on Medicare and Medicaid contracts, which can't be altered. There's been considerable help from both the state and federal government to offset those costs, but as we all know, the pre-pandemic levels of expense are never going to come back. They're never going to go down to what they were before. Item 199 is in reference to Big Brothers and Big Sisters monitoring programs. A couple of key points are that if the children of incarcerated parents are not mentored, most of them end up in the judicial system themselves. If they are mentored through Big Sisters and Big Brothers, most of them end up graduating from college and becoming very positive, tax-productive citizens. PBS now also focuses strongly on families dealing with opioid addictions and all ACEs, adverse childhood experiences. They collaborate with agencies for mental health screens in schools and work with children. The figure on this is $500,000. It's non-recurring for Big Brothers and Big Sisters Alliance. It's the same amount that as you consider funding and how much may be available is an important factor to keep in mind in this instance is that though the actual cost to Big Brothers and Big Sisters for mentoring is much higher, they have committed to adding a mentored child to their program and coalition for every $1,000 they receive in funding, so that assessing the impact of what this is going to mean to families and children is easily assessed. Item 198 is for Children's Hospital budget amendment, $500,000. Tennessee children are already experiencing an alarming spike in various behavioral health issues before COVID hit, and now the numbers of kids going to hospitals is climbing exorbitantly. The CEO at Niswonger Children's Hospital in Upper East Tennessee says that encounters for that hospital went up 61% last year, and our children's hospitals are set up to deal with medical issues for children, not behavioral issues. Regrettably, there is no place in the state for many of these children to go, and hospitals report having to board these children for considerable periods of time. Many of the children must stay because they are suicidal, some are homicidal, and some are both. The age of these children is getting lower each year, and many of them now are around 11 to 12 years old instead of the teenagers that we're used to in the past. It's not uncommon now for 4 and 5-year-olds to come in expressing suicidal or homicidal intentions. I respectfully request that you grant $500,000 to the hospitals who are members of the Children's Hospital Alliance of Tennessee. That's East Tennessee Children's Hospital, Erlanger, Niswonger, Vanderbilt, and Le Bonheur. Though the amendment mentions the Department of Mental Health by name, many agencies will be involved, and so many agencies are integral to the dealing, and community mental health centers and other organizations will benefit as well. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Ramsey. Very passionate about mental health. The Children's Hospital Alliance of Tennessee is doing a fantastic job. I had an opportunity to speak on the phone with them last week, of which out of 3 of the hospitals, they had more than 60 kids there that were in their hospitals for mental health episodes. And so I look forward to seeing where we can invest some money to try to offset the mental health challenges associated with our youth today. I think it's something that we absolutely need to do. Been talking to the Commissioner of Mental Health and Education about the $250 million trust fund that we set aside last year and how we can fold Children's Hospital Alliance of Tennessee into the discussion as it relates to how we deploy those resources. And so I appreciate your advocacy. The numbers surrounding our youth in Tennessee and across America today as it relates to mental health are staggering. And so I appreciate your work there. Thank you, Chairman.
Much appreciated, sir.
Mm-hmm. Next on our list, Chairman Powers, you were recognized. Your budget appropriation amendments are on page 8. Chairman Powers, you were recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, committee. My first one would be number 89, and that's being raised to the Campbell County Lions Club, and it's $300,000 to use to construct and establish a careable, they call it an inclusive playground for children with disabilities. It's a one-time money, and it's to match money that's already been raised and pledged. And we do not have a type of inclusive playground like that for children with disabilities within a 30-mile radius. And we have about a 20% poverty rate. And out of those 20%, they have about 20% of the children that in those families that have a disability. So it would be used to one-time money to build a playground for them. The other one was for $50,000 for the Campbell County Children's Center. The Children's Center provides services to sexually and physically abused children and their non-offending caregivers in Campbell, Claiborne, and Union County. These services include mental health counseling, forensic interviews, sexual assault exams, victim advocacy, court advocacy, prevention education, and case management services at no cost to the client. It's a great program, and it goes back to what Chairman Littleton was talking about a little while ago, and this is money that would really be raised to help them, and they don't have any regular money on an incoming basis. We have fundraisers for them all the time, so I'd appreciate it.
Thank you, Chairman Bowers, for being here today. Next on our list is Leader Camper. You are recognized. The members, her budget appropriation amendments are divided between page 1 and page 2. Chairman Camper, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, committee. Mr. Chairman, I have several amendments. All I think are equally important and are designed to help move our state forward, focusing on youth in particular, dealing with workforce development, training, and educating and preparing a workforce for the future. The first one, Mr. Chairman, item 146, is an opportunity to support the Memphis Juneteenth Festival, which provides opportunities for entrepreneurs and business owners to market their goods. They have a 5K run. They have a component in there where they use youth volunteers to help plan it, to help run it, so that they're getting the training that they need to put on a festival, as well as all of the coordination that goes on with that. We are asking for $20,000 on that. It's in its 29th year, and about 40,000 people come through that on a 3-day weekend basis. The next one, Mr. Chairman, is item 147. And in the past, we have supported On Location Memphis, which also works in the entertainment, TV, film industry to educate and teach people how to leverage their talents and create a revenue stream for themselves. So we appropriated a few years back $50,000. We have the results of the great work they've done. They've helped a lot of independent artists to use their music skills and talents to create a database of music that is then marketed to the films that's in the festival. And when the artist's music, if that film wins, then that artist wins. And the artists also get exposure to other films. So the music is marketed, and they are able to, as an independent artist, to get residual income from their work. And we're asking for $30,000 on that. The next one, Mr. Chairman, is an appropriation to the Department of Health for grant making to Regional 1 Health. We know how important Regional 1 is to the Mid-South. We need to replace and upgrade our telecommunications and the healthcare system that supports all of West Tennessee. We need $1.6 billion. Regional 1's health current telecommunication system is outdated, it's not supported, and it's unstable. Currently, the system is actually projected to crash at any moment in time. That could really jeopardize our entire West Tennessee healthcare system. If that happens, they won't be able to make phone calls, won't be able to receive phone calls. The hub for communicating with ambulances, flights coming in, transportation will be crippled. So it's important that we get the funds we need to really replace this outdated system, to be honest with you. This is what a system upgrade will do. Enable patients to schedule appointments from telemedicine or even walk-in visits. Patients in rural West Tennessee areas with limited network access can continue to conduct telemedicine via telephone. West Tennessee physicians who rely on consulting with trauma physicians, burn and high-risk obstetric, can't get obstetricians.
Obstetrics.
Yes, the one. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Physicians will be able to communicate on a regular basis. So there's a need for this, and we're asking for $1.6 million.
Thank you, Leader. Next on your list.
148.
Okay, you're recognized.
We are asking for $300,000 to the Greater Whitehaven Economic Redevelopment Corporation. You probably read in the news recently where they were able to give grants to small businesses in the area to help them with their business, promote their business, maybe reface it. So we're asking for $300,000 with that. Mr. Chairman and members, item 149. Man, this is an opportunity of a lifetime here. This is an appropriation that will go to help fund a state-of-the-art facility that teaches and educate our children and have fun while they're doing it. I think we need to think differently about how we reach our kids. And this program is called the VOZone, and within the VOZone, vocational zone, man, the kids are learning. They're learning economics and finance, security, services, robotics, culinary arts, international diplomacy, broadcasting. And they're learning it at the facility where we'll have the schools rotate the kids in. But once they learn it, they take it back to their communities and teach other kids about everything they're learning. So I think it's a great way for us to revolutionize how we are educating, training our kids, and allowing them to have fun at the same time.
Thank you, Leader. Representative Shaw, you had a comment on this one.
Thank you, Mr.
I did, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. I had an opportunity. The program was presented to me the other day, and I just want to say it's new technology. It's putting lesson plans in a game, and that's been tried, and that works for a lot of kids who don't do very well by reading their books, but they can play games and get their lessons, Chairman. It's really a fantastic program, and I think we all ought to see that. It's something very special, and it's for workforce.
Thank you, Representative Shaw. Leader Camper, you're recognized. You're standing on second, headed home.
Okay, I'm on second, headed home.
Yeah,
All right.
that means you're about halfway done. With,
I am.
your-
I just get excited talking about that one.
Yeah, you do.
And it has a rich history. It
Yes.
started out at the Kroc Center, if you're familiar, in Memphis.
Yeah.
And
Well, your time has ran out on that
Time
one. The
that
next
ran
one
out.
is
Mr. Chairman.
House Appropriations Amendment 150, I think is the next one. I think this has to do with having some residency before you can run for office.
This one actually has to do with creative arts for veterans and service members and their families. We're asking for $2.2 million. The program is called Carpetbag Theater. It's in Knoxville.
Thank you. You're recognized on the next one.
Thank you,
House
Mr.
Appropriation
Chairman.
142.
This one deals with autism. It's Advocates for Autism. It's an organization for autism awareness and services statewide. I'll make two quick points. One, currently they're providing collegiate chapters in the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, Austin Peay, and University of Memphis. And this will go to help with the seed money to start a chapter at Tennessee State University. They're also planning a 5K run to raise funds and continue their autism work, advocacy work.
Thank you, Leader Camper. The next,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
145, I think.
Item 145 is $1 million where we're trying to help prepare businesses as we get ready for Blue Oval City and what that's going to bring to our state. There's some technical support, some opportunities to help get business prepared for the wonderful opportunities created by Blue Oval City.
You, Leader. The next one, 144, NAMI.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. NAMI is asking for $150,000 non-recurring to be used to fund the police mental health collaboration planning guide.
Thank you. And finally, I think you have House Appropriation 143. This is Film Commission.
I do, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. And I'll try to be brief on this one, but I love what we're doing here. So, you know, how our incentives used to work. And oftentimes, the incentive dollars for these big productions, they have to bring the people in that had the talent and skills. Once we changed how we incentivized, we have an opportunity now to where we can have apprentices to learn these skills so that they can be employed on these sets. We need to create a pipeline here in the state of Tennessee to fully take advantage of all of the film, TV incentives that we've created for them coming here, but we can develop the workforce, and that's what this money will go to do. It'll fully fund 50 apprenticeships.
Thank you.
And thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, any other questions for Leader Camper? She has completed her work. Seeing none, we're going to go to Chairman Rudd, who's in the room, and then we're going to come to the members of the committee after that. Where is Representative Grills? If you want to come on up and grab a seat. I'm sorry I didn't see you at the back. I know you've been here for a while, but you go ahead. Go ahead, Chairman Rudd. You're right there. Representative Grills, you can get right there. Chairman Rudd, you're recognized. For the members, his appropriations are on page 8.
Number 15. This is a item I've been to before, and thanks everyone for their help before. This is for the city of Eagleville. That is a small city in my town, about 700. Their resources are limited. It's a rural farm area. They bought an old bank or remodeled it, and they are wanting to put the police department in the back and build a new fire department, which their current one is virtually dilapidated. And that $100,000 would go to the Eagleville building of their fire and remodeling their police department.
Okay, next on the list, House Appropriation Amendment number 24. Chairman Rudd, you're recognized. I'm not 24, I'm sorry.
14. This is a $20,000 request for the sole purpose of Camp Wonder. This is to help handicapped children and children with learning disabilities in high schools in Rutherford County, to expand that program from one high school to several other high schools to assist the local Board of Education in that. They also allow and admit graduates that are help train them to find work after their graduation as well. So that's what that $20,000 would go towards.
Thank you, Chairman Rudd. Next, and finally on my list, House Appropriation Amendment number 31.
Yes, this is a $5,000 request. It's a small request, but as you'll notice, this is for the City of Murfreesboro Senior Citizen Center. They spend hundreds of thousands a year maintaining their centers, and this is the main center there. Needs a little bit of repair work, and I told them I would try to get a little bit to help them so they could meet their budget goal of $5,000. This would help with inside and outside maintenance and deferred maintenance on that building.
Thank you, Chairman Rudd. Thank you for coming today. Next on our list, Representative Grills for the members. Representative Grills' amendments are on page 4. Page 4. Representative Grills, you are recognized.
Would that be 137, Mr. Chairman?
137, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. That would be for the Northwest Tennessee Agriplex, kind of a state-of-the-art facility that would facilitate concerts, sporting events, fairs, trade fairs, anything you can think of in that part of the world. We have nothing that several people can get together in the same room and have an event like that. So this is something that's been in the works for about 10 to 15 years. COVID kind of threw us a curveball, but we're trying to get some support back behind it. I have all the adjacent county mayors are on board with it. All the adjacent reps are on board with it. And they signed a letter, and I believe they actually signed the amendment that was at your office. But love to get as much support out of it as we could.
Thank you, Representative. I think you have one other, House Appropriation Amendment 202.
Yes, sir. That was for the Bogota Community Center. It's just a small community in my district that they have this little community center. It's kind of the backbone of it, and it really needs some repairs, air conditioning, bathrooms, just some small things. Not asking for a lot of money, but a lot of money go a long way here.
Thank you, Representative, for presenting your two budget appropriation amendments. look forward to the committee considering them.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You have a good day.
Thank you. Next on the list, Representative Campbell. I think you have a couple of budget appropriation amendments. His are on page 1. You may actually be presenting appropriation amendment for another member, I think, but you can tell us what they are when you get here. House Appropriation Amendment, page 1. You're recognized, Representative Campbell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Amendment coded 15212 would provide $50,000 for the sole purpose of making a grant in that amount to the Johnson County Rescue Squad and EMS to be used for equipment, supplies, compensation, and operational expenses. And another is code 15210. This is statewide application, borrowing those famous words, $4,750,000 to the Tennessee Emergency Medical Services Board. This would be for the sole purpose of making grants to each and every county EMS in the state of Tennessee in the amount of $50,000 per county to be used for equipment, supplies, and operational expenses. What we have found is there are a number of counties in Tennessee where a sizable percentage of their patients cannot or do not pay a single penny for the emergency medical services treatment and or transport that they've received. This is causing major problems for our emergency medical service agencies. Some counties and cities do not fund them at all, and their reimbursement rates from Medicare, Medicaid, and TennCare are not that great. So this is something I think we need to do that would be something that directly impacts people in every single county in the state. Moving forward, we have Code 15468. This would be $20,000 for the purpose of the Paramount Foundation in Bristol, Tennessee, in conjunction with Representative Crawford, to be used for community programs and services and deferred maintenance and administrative expenses. Also, we have Code 15514. This is $600,000 for the Doe Mountain Recreation Authority to be used for operating expenses. Doe Mountain Recreation Authority has a mountain of over 8,600 acres where people travel in and ride side-by-sides there. It's a great outdoor entertainment option at a very good value. DoeTN.com will tell you more about that. And lastly, the Johnson County Senior Center with 15679 is requesting $20,000 for the purpose of a classroom expansion at the Johnson County Senior Center, and they do a tremendous amount of work there with their current resources, and this would help them very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Representative Campbell. Representative Sexton is next, page 8 on your list. Representative Sexton, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is the same thing that we had asked for last year. We have a situation in Bean Station along Highway 11W that is causing a flooding of 2 subdivisions, and we've gotten TDOT ready to make the correction to that, but our utility district doesn't have the $145,000 without raising the water rates to move the water lines that run along the easement on TDOT's property. So this, we asked for this last year, and we held off because that we thought the federal dollars would take care of it. However, the town didn't have enough money to give the utility district to take care of the $145,000. So that's what we're asking for on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Sexton. Yours are on page 9. Representative Shaw, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Have 2 amendments. Amendment coded 196 for the El Canaan Help Community. It's a program where we are trying to save our heritage. We were one of the old Allen White high schools were located in Whiteville. They were located all across the state of Tennessee, in fact, but there was one in Whiteville that was built for the purpose of children of color being able to attend high school back in the day, and it burned down. And of course, we were able to save some of the memorabilia there. And what we're doing is building a museum in the amount of $2 million, and we are asking for just some seed money to help with that of $125,000 to help with some things in engineering and other things like that, reaching out to the community and churches and other organizations for help to rebuild that and to save that memorabilia for that high school that was burned down some years back. The second amendment I have is 195. It is for Lane College. It is, of course, for the Division of Student Affairs in collaboration with the Division of the Academic Affairs in developing the Dragon Academy, which is a summer bridge program designed to assist students with the transition from high school to higher education. Of course, this is a HBCU that is in my district, and they have this summer program for their children, and they're trying to help to get them out of high school into college and also get them into workforce. And we're asking for an amount of $75,000 for that program. And thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, Representative Shaw. Next on our list, same page, page 9. Representative Sparks, you recognize.
Yep. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, members. Chairman, a few months ago, I heard, I believe it was you and some others talk about the importance of field trips to our youth. And basically, the Sam Davis Home Memorial Association, I'm asking for $10,000. I think I shared a story with this committee that I was the only kid in my class that did not have the money to go on the field trip back in the day. This means a lot to me. We were able to help them about 8 years ago with $10,000, so I'm asking for $10,000 again to invest in some of the capital maintenance of the old home. And it's a regional argument. It picks up Williamson County, Davidson County, Wilson, Cannon, and Rutherford for field trips and other educational opportunities for our youth.
Thank you, Representative Sparks. You have one more, I think?
Yes. Nourish Food Bank, we were able to help them about 6 years ago with roughly $10,000. Their needs are up to help folks with the rising inflation. I was over at Save a Lot the other day, and I noticed it used to be 5 for $19. Now it's 5 for $25. So there's growing inflation there, and the needs of the community seem to be growing. So I'm asking for $10,000 there, Chairman and committees.
Thank you, Representative Sparks. Finally, Chairman Hicks, you are recognized for the members. Chairman Hicks are on page 4 and 5, split there. Chairman Hicks, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I know I have several, and I know we only have several minutes left, so I'll try to be as brief as possible. I'll start with amendment number 0107. And that would be for the Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services, and this would be for $17.9 million recurring for supplementing the provider rate funding pool. The original amount from mental health was about mental health and substance abuse was about double this amount. The governor actually put half of this amount in, so this would actually make that original request whole. Moving right along to amendment number 0108, this would be for the University of Tennessee Institute for Public Service. This would be for funding a statewide SMART initiative to the tune of $783,800, and again, that would also be recurring. Moving along to amendment 0109, this would be to the Department of Education. This would be for a statewide pilot project that provides permissive access to local school districts to utilize STEM-focused 3D game-based learning, a 3D game-based learning platform. And just want to let me expound a little bit on that one, if I may. Mm-hmm. I had this pulled up. So this would be for, just to get a little more detailed, Plasma Games. It's actually an interactive game that integrates Tennessee learning standards for high school chemistry and middle school science. Numerous other states have offered the game to their students and are seeing great improvements in student engagement, and this also increases in the end, of course, exam scores. So certainly a worthwhile initiative there, and that's to the tune of $2 million. Moving right along to Amendment 110, this would be for the City of Kingsport, and this would be for non-recurring $810,000 expansion of the Kingsport Academic Village with the purchase of 2 additional facilities. Moving right along to Amendment 111. This would be for East Tennessee State University for the tune of recurring $2.9 million for providing tuition differential and operating funds for the Gatton College of Pharmacy, an issue that has been ongoing for quite a while, and so certainly look forward to bringing this issue to the forefront again this year. Also, Amendment 112, moving right along to the University of Tennessee, and this would be to provide assessor education and technical assistance through the County Technical Assistance Service, or also what we know as CTAS. So this would be basically to help our assessor of properties to make sure they're up to speed. And if you look across our counties at the new assessor of properties that will be coming in the next couple of years, and we've lost several of our assessors. It's amazing how many that we've actually lost due to illness, and so this would be a very timely request here. And again, that's for $200,000 recurring. Moving along to Amendment 113, this would be for Hawkins County Schools. This would establish and expand the career and technical education program, including construction of a new building. The county has put up $2 million, as well as the Board of Education there in Hawkins County has put up another $2 million, and this would be to expand their CTE. This would be a really regional approach, and so this was located more in the eastern part of the county, where really located in the Phipps Bend Industrial Park is where it's actually at, which is owned by Kingsport and Hawkins County, as well as TVA. So this would be a really worthwhile initiative to help expand CTE initiatives and offerings. Moving on to 114, Amendment 114, this would be for Hancock County. This would be for construction of a new park with a walking trail and baseball field, and this would be to the tune of $1 million. If you really think about that and you think, what kind of park is this? This would be the park for Hancock County. It's amazing that in our 95 counties, how that we do not really have a park in Hancock County. We have one that's very small on the side of the road, and I'm just going to be honest with you, I think that's sad. And so I'm offering this, and I hope that we can get those folks over there. They certainly deserve this, and not only them, but the children over there do as well. So certainly look forward to bringing forth this, and this is a $1 million ask, non-recurring. And I'm almost finished. Moving along to 106, Amendment number 106. This would be the Department of Health to establish and manage an educational dental safety net care fund and pilot program that supports 33 counties in East Tennessee in partnership with Lincoln Memorial University, and this would be year 1 of 3. This would be non-recurring, $3.3 million is what's asked. If you look at the Department of Health's budget, they actually put monies in there for 2 of the 3 dental programs. One of those is the University of Tennessee, and the other is Meharry. And somehow LMU didn't make it in there, and so this would just make sure that all 3 dental programs across the state would have an opportunity to be able to provide much-needed services there in Northeast Tennessee. Finishing up, Amendment 115 would be for the Human Resources agencies. This would be a matching grant program for operational expenses as well as a grant program. This would be $30,000 each for our human resources agencies to the tune of $270 million non-recurring. And I think that does conclude my asks.
Thank you, Chairman Hicks. I see no other members in the room, so the only ones left that haven't been discussed will be mine. I'll do that if members are in the hall and they hear me saying saying anything. We're fixing to say last call. Somebody can turn the lights down and back on in the back. But for members to come in. I have 2 budget appropriation amendments. They are identical. The only thing difference between those 2, they're House Appropriations Amendment 0004 and House Appropriations Amendment 0020. One is for recurring dollars. The other is for non-recurring dollars. The previous governor and this governor have put money in the past as it relates to Save the Children. This money for the Save the Children Foundation goes to their after-school and in-home literacy programs. As the members know, during COVID, there was a lot of challenges as it related to our children. These after-school programs, not just in schools, but utilized through evidence-based programs like Save the Children, are an integral role in getting our kids caught back up. And so would appreciate the members and the governor's support as we look at these budget appropriations. Seeing no other members enter the room, I want to appreciate the committee for their attentiveness today as we went through a plethora of these budget appropriation amendments. We're going to go back into session. So that we're now back in session, members. It is anticipated that this committee may not have to meet again, but we are going to adjourn at the call of the chair in case that we do have to come back as it relates to appropriation amendments. As you know, the governor's office is releasing tomorrow the appropriation amendment as it relates to the additional initiatives that the governor's and the administration is putting forth. And so this committee and Chairman Hicks and Chairman Hazelwood, Chairman Baum look forward to going through the data over the next several days to find out what would be a good fit between the administration and the House and Senate chambers. Any members have any personal orders before we adjourn? Seeing none, House Appropriations Amendment Appropriations Subcommittee is now adjourned at the call of the chair. Thank you.